What happened is that I wanted to access some unrestricted models trained in some restricted data, and so I joined the dark web. But it's not what you think. No, it's not that. I have a very good reasons, and most specifically, I want to learn how to make synthetic drugs. A girl should boost her income after all, huh? Meanwhile, it's ironic they call it dark, as it's actually the opposite. It gives freedom and privacy, at least more freedom and more privacy, and it is more community-made too. I don't know, maybe that's closer to the future internet than what we have now, because eventually democracy prevails. Anywho, I'm very new to this, and I'm not sure if I will keep uploading on that matter. Besides, Google won't be very tolerant of it. For now, I want to show you an app that will help you visit Onion sites with minimum effort. Look, I'm not saying it's the best way or the most wholesome way, because you'll probably need to set up your CLI too for using APIs on dark web, but I'm showing it anyway because it's a start, it's easy, and it's a GNOME app, of course. The app is called Carburetor, but you can call it Carburetor if you're French. Just like how a carburetor supplies air to a combustion engine, in this case, it gives oxygen to your anonymity. Actually, I don't have idea how the developer came up with the name, but let's say that the Linux community puts more drama than it should when it comes to naming. Now, the app is written in Python and libadwaita, and it uses PySocks for running a local proxy. Basically, this app is a front end for the Tractor app, which is a CLI TOR proxy, also in Python, and also from the same developer, so if you want to check on that too, you'll find it on the same repository. So this app opens an Onion router proxy and provides some settings via the UI. However, what gives it more value is that it's primarily designed for phones, which means both easy of use and also an appropriate UI design. That also scales for the desktop. For example, you can use any web browser you want out of box. You aren't restricted to Tor browser or anything. The app is also available on Flathub, and I don't think I would ever bothering with it if it wasn't one click away. And anyway, it recently had a new release that updates the runtime to GNOME 47 platform. It has almost 20,000 downloads, which aren't that many, but it's not like everyone suddenly want to join dark web from their GNOME phone, is it? And obviously people will still trust Tor project more. Old dogs can't learn new tricks, huh? Meanwhile, isn't super annoying that Flathub calls potentially unsafe with extra danger label pretty much every app that connects to the internet or have some normal access to the file system? Stupid, isn't it? So, here we are with our potentially unsafe app, and that's the starting screen. And I want to go through the app settings first. That fortunately isn't much. First, we have a quick option to turn the proxy on and off. Now on preferences, we can specify which country's exit node we want our Tor traffic to pass through before reaching its final destination. So we can bypass geo restrictions and enhance further our privacy. Next, we can allow remote connections from other devices on the network, which is cool if we're running a hotspot, for example, and on fascist mode, we can restrict all connections to ports 80 and 443 for increased security. On proxy page, we can set the ports for the secure communication, the local DNS server, and a fallback HTTP tunnel. That give us some extra flexibility over the network traffic. Now, the pluggable transports is a way to disguise Tor traffic to look like regular internet traffic, such as HTTPS or even random data. I don't know how good that actually works, but when you use normal sites like Google search, Google will figure out the weird traffic, and it will ban you. So it's not a great idea to do that while you're logged in. Additionally, we can set bridges if our internet provider has blocked access to known Tor relays. Okay, so let's connect BTW. This is DuckDuckGo search engine, but the Onion link. So if we try to access it without a Tor proxy, obviously it won't work. But if we start this and try again, then it will work. And that's how you can open Onion links with your favorite browser and practically with zero setup. Of course, the reason that will work out of box is because Firefox by default, it will use the system proxy. And obviously, you can change the behavior from the settings. For example, you may don't want to use Tor for this browser, so you can set to no proxy. Now we are connected. We have a few more things we can use. First, we have a console with logs. Very nice work from the developer doing this. From here, we can reset our identity, which essentially is like starting a new session, and this button just checking our connection. One last thing is that you can monitor the proxy server with systemd. Like that. You know what? It would be much more fun if I could show you what AI models on the dark web can do. But I'm sorry, Chief, I can't. Maybe one day the internet will be truly uncensored.